Hello, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to episode number 158 for March the 15th, 2022. Beware the Ides of March. Had to be said. I am a retired English teacher. You know, Julius Caesar, Shakespeare, all that. Anyways, I'm already off topic, or am I not? So let's jump right in and look at the finished quilt. This was the one that gave me a lot of problems for a lot of reasons. Let's find it. And there it is. And this, of course, is called the Strong and Free Quilt from Northcott. And it's the one that I had all kinds of problems trying to get the pattern. And then when I got the pattern and I got cutting the fabric, I realized there was a major mistake. And I sewed it all together and had some problems sewing it all together. And this was a disaster from beginning to end. Now I know that by looking at it, it turned out okay. But I know as the creator of this that there's a lot of problems. And so I'm going to point them out to you. First of all, I had to add these little pieces of fabric here on either side, because this panel, or this piece that was pieced together, was about 2 inches too short for the panel. That again was a mistake in the pattern, which of course it was too late to do anything about it because I'd already cut the panel the size that they had said. So I added these little coping strips, I guess you'd call them, to the edges. If I'd really been thinking about it, I should have maybe done something similar to the top, although it's the same fabric, so you wouldn't really notice it, I guess. Or better yet, if I had just taken these strips, or the ones on the outside here that I'm pointing at, and added a little bit to their width, it would have avoided this little barrier here or whatever. Of course, if I really wanted to get it elaborate, I could have widened all of these strips so they'd fit across here neatly, and you wouldn't really, they'd all look pretty much the same size as these ones on either side of it. Yeah, I could have done that, didn't do that. That's an afterthought. Okay, then when I was squaring up the quilt, I didn't do a great job of squaring it up. It was a very awkward quilt to square up because, well, okay, the edges aren't so bad because you had, these lines along here that would help you, with the lining it up, and that I'd used. But the top and the bottom didn't really have any reference points for squaring it up. Yes, I know. I probably should have used a large square ruler, put it on the corners and did it that way. But yeah, again, I didn't think about that at the time that I was doing it. Probably because I just wanted to get the damn thing done, And I bunged up the binding in one spot, but I think it's over at this end. You can't really see it that much. But yeah, to the average person looking at this, they'll think it's fine. But I'm not the average person. I made it. I know where the mistakes are. But, it's the old adage, better done than perfect, I guess. And this one definitely is that. Now, I'll show you the back here. I've got this picture in here actually upside down, but that's okay. If you take a look at this, you can sort of see my quilting. What it was a series of maple leaves tied together with little loopy loops, swirls, whatever you want to call them. Might get a little better shot here. So yeah, you see here, here's a maple leaf. This picture too is upside down. It figures. Everything with this quilt just doesn't go completely right. You know what I mean? So here you go. But you get a sense of what the quilting looks like. That was done on Lucy with a pantograph. And just as an aside to my Lucy, nope, I do not have my quilt path yet, but I didn't expect it until probably into April. They told me it'd be probably 6 to 8 weeks. So it's been about, I don't know how long now, about 5 weeks, 4 weeks. I've lost track of time. But that is life, eh? So, yeah, like I said, that one is done. Better done than, than perfect, I guess. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, anyways, moving right along here, I did do some shopping in this past week. Ultimate Sewing was having a sale. And the sale was basically you got 20% off your fabric if you bought the end of a roll or bolt. So Walter and I trundled down. It wasn't like I was desperate for fabric, but I like to shop for it. So Walter is an enabler, as you well know. You've heard me say this before. We're in Ultimate Sewing, and it was busy on Saturday. Everybody was getting in on the deals because there was 20% off too, I think, off of Notions as well. But anyways, he's going through all the bolts of fabric, and he's finding ones that have, look like they have only about a meter or meter of a half left on them, and pulling them out. So I had a whole pile of these bolts piled up. And well, at the end of the day, and let me show you what I bought. Here it is in all its glory. Basically the ones that I bought, they're ones that are more blenders than anything else, and that's fine. You can always use some of those. But I got 19 and a half meters of fabric, and it cost me about $270, something like that. It was like $15 a meter as well as the regular price. And then I got, 20% off of that. So what's that? That's another $3. So basically I paid $12 a meter for what I've got here. That's pretty good, given that the average price of fabric right now is running, $18.99 to about $23 a meter. So yeah, that's a bargain. So I stocked up here, and yeah, that was a good sale. So I'm also doing a what they call a block of the month. Everybody's heard of a block of the month, and here it is. Let me get rid of me for a minute so you can get a full view of this. I'm really pleased with myself on this one. This pattern is called Lakeside. And let me just see if I can find the actual pattern itself to show you what it looks like. So this gives you an idea of what the quilt looks like when it's finished. And what I have done is just this center part in here. That was the first month. And it's being done or being hosted by Donna, the hostess with the mostest at Ultimate Sewing. It's a class, but she's doing it all by Zoom. And I think I mentioned that last week. So that's the what the final product's going to look like. And let's go back here, if I can find it, to my picture of the first block. Now, there were templates involved with this, and you had to make your own templates. I usually shy away from anything that's where I have to make the actual templates. And what I mean is, you have to cut them out of paper and that kind of thing. I found if I mounted the paper first on cardstock, actually fairly heavy cardstock. I'm using comic book board. Say that fast 5 times, which is the same stuff I use for wrapping up my fabrics and storing them vertically on my shelves. And that works really well. But what you do is just, rough cut out your template, glue it down to the comic book board, and then using your rotary cutter and a ruler, just cut it out. And that seems to work fairly well. And so that's what I used. I think there were about 4 templates for this block. Also, you notice the number of fabrics. There are 17 different fabrics in this quilt. And this block has almost all of them in it. Now, that made things a little tricky because, of course, I pick colors. I go for bold. You know that. But I've got just a wide variety here of colors. Now, I did choose my colors according to, the diagram with it was lights, darks, and mediums. I tried to do that. And yeah, I think it turned out really nice. Now, I'm particularly proud of this piece because a lot of points. And if you look at it, my points are damn near perfect, especially in the center. Now, this pattern design had a circle that you cut out and you applicate it to the center of this. Now, I think they actually created that because they knew that it would be difficult for you to get your points perfectly lined up. And so in a way you could if disguise the center of the block if you didn't get it quite right. So I didn't need to do that. I'm very proud to say my points turned out great. And I don't want to put the circle on it for two reasons. One, they're talking about doing needle turned applique with it. Now, I suppose if I'd cut the circle out of batik, I wouldn't have to worry about that. I just steam a seam it and then do a straight stitch all the way around the perimeter of it. But I did cut out the circle and I laid it down on top of this finished block and to make a decision. And I've decided, no, I don't want to use the circle. And you know why? Because I want to show off my perfectly matched points, for one thing. And secondly, I think when you do something like that, and that's the only applique on the quilt, I think people suspect there was a problem. They look at it and go, oh, you made a little oopsie there and trying to hide it, didn't you? So yeah, for those reasons, I'm not putting the circle on. And it's my choice. I can do whatever I want to do with this quilt. So, yep, I've got the first month done. So, have to wait till April to get the next block. Actually, I could cheat if I wanted to because I did find the whole pattern online. And actually, it was a free download as well. But I'm not going to work ahead because I paid for a class. And part of the joy of taking a class is, the instruction. Dawn is a great instructor. And she'll probably have some other tips and tricks she did for this one to tell us about. So I should learn my lesson. Don't work too far ahead because sometimes they get you into trouble. So I'm not going to work ahead on this. I have lots of other projects to keep me busy. And just as an aside here, after I got this, I had some problems with this block in terms of the templates. There seemed to be, I couldn't figure out, did I do something wrong? Or was there a problem with the pattern? And lately, I've been having problems with patterns for some reason. I figured it out and finished the block. And I had just finished the block and Donna sent out a message saying, yeah, there was a mistake in the pattern with the templates. And she had the corrections, which I'd already figured out. But yep, you never know, right? But anyways, I'm very happy with the way this is turning out, and I think this is going to be a gorgeous quilt when I get it done. Now, something else that's a project that's going to take some time. Well, before I talk about that, though, I want to talk about this little thing. Also, at Ultimate Sewing, the day of the sale, I bought this little thing right here. It is called the Trimmer by George 2.0. And it's by the Hoop Sisters. Now, the Hoop Sisters are famous for creating in-the-hoop embroidery projects for making quilts. And, you've seen them in the background here when I'm doing my videos of some of the wall hangings I've done. And basically, those are tiled and they're put together. The tricky part with those, though, are when you join them together, you have to cut the batting. And if you've used backing on them as well, you have to cut those down without cutting the top layer in order to be able to join them together. Now, I'm not explaining this well, and I know I'm not explaining this well. But anyways, it's sort of a quilt as you go method where, you put the various pieces of the quilt together and they're already layered and everything. Well, this ruler helps you cut it accurately. There's a steel lip at the very top where you see that black strip. I've got this turned face down, though, so you can't see the little lip. And this just fits right underneath your fabric, your top fabric. And then it's the perfect measurement for cutting the batting and backing fabric if you have it on it, so that you have the tile trimmed up properly for joining other tiles to it. The other beauty of this, which was a bonus because I didn't know this ruler did this, is it has two lines, and you can see them. They're written backwards on here. Just blow it up a little bit so you can see it a little better. This says sashing, this says binding. This is marked off right here for perfectly cutting your sashing. So you fold your fabric in half twice, and it'll fit under the ruler, and away you go. Now you're going to say, yeah, but you can do that with a regular ruler too. And yes, you can. But because of the nature of this ruler and whatever it's coated with, it grips the fabric really well and you get a really straight cut. And so I used both of these for the first time the other day, and yeah, I really like them. They're really easy to use. And there's other markings on this ruler too for, 45-degree cuts and that kind of thing. Now, apparently, this company's coming out with the 3.0 version of this trimmer, and I don't know what's different about that. I had a very difficult time getting my hands on this ruler, and you want to know something? I should have gone to Ultimate Sewing first. I didn't even think that they would probably have this. They did. They had lots of them, and I found it by chance. I was just looking through all of their rulers with nothing in particular in mind to buy, and I came across this. Well, I latched onto it real quick. Plus, I got it on sale as well. So that was bargain too. So anyways, I was very pleased with that. I haven't actually used it yet for the purpose it's intended, but I will be shortly. Okay, so the other big project, and this is only part of the picture, so I'm going to retrieve the right picture. So I ordered these a while ago on Amazon. I finally got the complete collection. These rulers are by Robin Ruth, who has designed a whole system for making mariner's compass. Now, I've always wanted to make a mariner compass, but I've always hesitated because, a lot of Y seams, lots of points, busy, busy, busy. Well, she has designed a system using these rulers for creating a variety of different mariner's compasses. And she has a bunch of patterns out there too. Now, these books that came with some of the rulers also show you how to make a basic mariner's compass. And I think I will concentrate on that first before I go into some of her more elaborate patterns that she has. But I decided, in for a penny, in for a pound, I bought the whole complete collection. There's $200 worth of equipment here to make a mariner's compass, okay? So this better work. Now, this is a long-term project. I've just got all the stuff I need for it. I haven't even bothered to start looking at what I need for fabric and which pattern I'm going to do and that kind of thing. But I will. And then I'll get on with it. She also has a whole series of YouTube videos showing you how to use this system, and they're very, very good videos. I've watched several of them. They're very clearly presented. It looks like this is not as complicated or as difficult as you may think looking at all the rulers and everything. So I'm getting excited about doing this, but I do have some other projects to get to work on. So we'll see when I get started on all of this. Now, Walter and I have been busy also getting our costumes, our outfits ready for the Kissin' Cousins, Matilda Mudslinger and Gladass Happy Bum, who will be making an appearance in a couple of weeks' time at Ultimate Sewing, the quilt store, is retreat that we are going to. Getting excited about that. First time out in public for a while. So we're designing the Kissin' Cousins costumes. And first of all, we are designing their skirts, and we talked a little bit about this on Stephen and Walter this week. So if you didn't see that, you might want to take a look. We're making circle skirts, sort of like poodle skirts, from scrap fabric. And the skirts are quite full, so they need quite a bit of fabric. And Walter will sew up the skirts, and he's also designing the tops that will go with them. And so we're working on those right now, but we also wanted to have some fascinators. So I have created some fascinators. There's the fascinators right there. And basically I guess over here, this was the first fascinator I made. No, it doesn't have this bucket attached to it. That's just there for support. I decided to get elaborate and make pieces with my 3D printer and that kind of thing, like the base is made from the 3D printer. And of course, you've seen my famous thimble pin cushions. And then I added this big spool of thread and some stiffened fabric that I put in there and another spool of thread. Weighed a ton. These would not stay on our head. They were way too heavy. So I redid them, and this is what I came up with. Now, these came from the dollar store. The hats did. It's, another couple of days, it's going to be St. Patty's Day. And of course, the dollar store always has lots of things for St. Patty's Day. For most holidays, they do. And they had these little green hats that had a little green bow. You can see it peeking over on the side here. And there's a little shamrock on it as well. And I bought a few other little goodies, and I had some tulle in my fabric collection, and a couple of the thimble pin cushions, and some cheap thread. Bought that at the dollar store, and these other embellishments I got at the dollar store, and I put it all together with some fabric on it, and I think they turned out really cute. And that's not the picture that I want. What I want to do is I'll show you what they look like when we're wearing them, and this is good for a laugh. So here's Walter sporting this lovely fascinator, as you can see, jauntily or stylishly put on a tilt on his head. I don't know if we'll actually wear them this way because we have wigs. So we'll see how they fit on top of the wigs. I may take these things off the side that will clamp them to your head and I bought some hair clip kind of things. Might be able to clip them right to the wig. We'll have to see. We got to be able to keep them on. And of course, here's mine. Yeah, I look excited, don't I? What's that thing growing out of my head? Yeah. But anyways, I think with the rest of the outfit, they're going to look really fun. You know, the ladies are going to get a scream out of these. I know they will. And that's what it's all about, right? So I will show you we'll take pictures of the final costumes and everything when they're on. I think they're going to be a hoot. I really do. Okay, so that takes me to a demo for this week, and I want to talk again a little bit about storage, or how I store things. And one of the best things I've ever owned is a Ruscot. And if you don't know what a Ruscot is, it's a cart with wheels, and it comes from IKEA. And these are very, very handy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those now. This week I thought I'd talk about another storage method that I use. And this isn't anything original to me or new to me, because many people enjoy these wheeled carts. Now the teal colored one is a Ruscot, which comes from IKEA. And this other one I bought on sale at Michael's at one point in time. And I love these carts because these are where I keep my most current projects usually, or bits and pieces of things that I'm using for a project. So you can see the way I've laid this out. I have plenty of space. I just cleaned some of this out. Oh, just found some more thimbles down there that I didn't realize I had. Okay. Those are for pin cushions. But anyways, I digress. On each of these shelves, I keep different things. Now, there are some projects for future projects, and they're bits and pieces like specialty rulers and patterns and that I keep on that shelf. And on this shelf on top is just a catch-all for my little baskets. I love using these blue baskets that I get from the dollar store. When I'm working on a project, say an embroidery project, I'll often throw the threads I am using for that project into this little basket. Here you can see I've got some bits and pieces of little patchwork for something that haven't worked on for a while, but I may. So that's what I keep there. At the top here, I have larger pieces of fabric for a project that I am currently working on. And then just down the other shelves are where I keep just a variety of things. That bottom shelf has a bit of Christmas in it. Leftovers, I guess, from this last season's Christmas projects. And so they're there. But the beauty of these carts are really the wheels, because I can just move these around wherever I need to in my sewing room, so they're really handy. If I need them over closer by my sewing machine, it's easy to roll it out over there, or over by my embroidery machine. So I really love these as a form of storing what you're working on currently. I don't use them for long-term storage. I have other solutions for that. But luckily, they fit right into this little alcove I have here in my sewing room underneath my bookcase. And that keeps them out of the way until I need them, and very accessible too. So that's my sort of my demo of the week, how I store items for my current projects using rust carts or just a wheeled cart. And that takes us to the subscribers quilt of the week, and this is a creation from, now I'm not sure if her name is said Thea or Tia Wheelis. And well, here's her beautiful creations. This week's featured quilt comes from a subscriber called Thea Wheelis, and she's relatively new, she says, to my channel. And she says, "This is my Celtic Tree of Life quilt. The white around the outside is the batting. The green outside edge should be about 24 inches square. This is going to be a wall hanging for myself." The second picture, and let's get that up. And there it is. The second picture is a detail close-up. The tree is a single-piece needle-turned applique, and I did hand embroidery with silver thread for the over-under differentiation, and hand bead it with silver glass seed beads around the outside and the two inner circles, and the green glass seed beads on the leaves. And I'm just going to go back again to see the whole thing. And she continues, "These pictures are from before I started quilting. I'm doing hand quilting with Celtic knotwork motifs in silver thread surrounded by stipple quilting in white thread and adding thread in the top stitching to make the silver motifs really pop." Well, this is really, really quite beautiful and looks very, very complex. And if we just do a little close-up here, you can see the little silver seed beads. That must have taken quite a long time to do. And since this is an applique piece as well, and I can't remember whether she said it was turned. I'm just looking here again. Yeah, it's needle turned applique. That's very fine work, as you can see. So that must have been very time consuming, but the end result is going to be absolutely gorgeous. So thank you so much, Thea, for sending those pictures to me. So if you'd like to send me pictures of your creations, you know the routine. I've mentioned it many times before, and my email address is in the show notes below. So please do. Okay, so that takes us to the YouTube of the week. I discovered this one not so long ago, or someone may have recommended this one to me. I can't really remember. But it's called SewCanShe. Bit of a pun on the word sew, because this is sew as in S-E-W. SewCanShe. So let's take a look at that. This week's YouTube channel of the week is called SewCanShe. And let's just take a look at what kind of videos we can expect to see from this creator. We have Quilts and Quilting, Color by Number Quilt Along, Quilt Shop Challenges, How to Sew a Designer Zipper Bag, which is a free course, studio chats, product and book reviews, It's So Easy TV, machine embroidery, DIY projects. So she seems to have a wide variety of tutorials and explanations and I guess just about everything you would be interested in. Let's take, down here, popular uploads. She has 10 holiday gifts to sew from free patterns. That's always good. 3 ways to organize and store your fabric. 12 free quilt patterns you'll love. Okay, so there's quite a variety of things about mask making as well. Now, one that caught my attention, of course, is machine embroidery. So let's just take a look at the playlist for that. And she has machine lace wall art, coloring book designs, Janome Horizon Memory Craft 14,000 review, all about sewing thread, using your embroidery machine to sew a zipper clutch, unboxing my Tula Pink Bernina. Okay, a few little videos there. Some of those actually sound appealing to me. I'd like to hear what she has to say about the 14,000 because I used to own the Memory Craft 15,000. And if you're a regular viewer, you have seen my videos about my problems with that machine. This is interesting, a machine lace wall art kind of a thing. So yeah, there seems to be something here for everyone. So I think this is definitely a YouTube channel worth exploring further, so why not check it out? So this is the section of the episode where I usually talk about what's on my vision board in terms of future projects. And, well, you've already heard about it. I've already mentioned this. It's the Mariner's Compass by Robin Ruth, using the rulers that I have purchased for that purpose. So yeah, so that's what's on my vision board. I'll get to that at some point in time. So that takes me to one of my creations. Last week I talked about Walter's Haunted Houses that were an In the Hoop applique project that he had done such a wonderful job on. Well, I've also done many of those kind of projects before too. And even though this is more appropriate for Christmas, I thought I would talk about it. And that's the Sugar Chalet In the Hoop project. And I love doing In the Hoop projects. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that creation. This week I thought I'd critique one of my freestanding applique creations that I make in the hoop on my embroidery machine. Now, both of these creations I'm going to show you are from Christmas time, but I think they're really quite neat. I love doing freestanding applique. This is the Sugar Chalet, and I believe I got it from OESD online, and they do take some time to make, but they're well worth the effort. They're just fun, really, just fun. And they look great at Christmas time. And many of them, especially the Christmas style of appliques, and they have other appliques, freestanding appliques as well that you can do. I've made a lighthouse before. I've made a old-fashioned looking truck before as well. Maybe on a future video I will show you a bunch of the different ones that I have made. But they all basically are made the same way in terms of assembling them. They're done with, if you see these little parts up here they're sticking out, there's an eyelet that is actually built right into the piece when it's sewn by the embroidery machine, and then these little buttons, called buttons and eyelets, just pull through and it holds it all together. Now the idea is that these can be disassembled at the end of a season and stored away flat, but I don't do that. I actually add a little drop of clear fabric glue to each one of these little buttons to hold them securely, because they do have a tendency sometimes to slide out. And here's a side view of that same creation, and you can see the detail that you have here. You can have a lot of fun picking out your colors for this and then assembling it. So I really like doing these kind of projects. They work out very well for me. Yes, as I said, they are time consuming, but they're well worth the effort. And that takes me to the quilt store online for the week. This one is called Rayne, I think it's Rayne. It's Rayne, Rayne Fabrics. And I have never bought anything from this store, so of course you know that my reviews are based upon my first impressions of their website. And so I present to you Rayne Fabrics. This week's online quilt store is called Rayne Fabrics, and I have never been to this site before. This is my first look at this, and right off the bat I see they have free shipping on orders over $150 within Canada, so that is great. And let's just go down on their opening page and see what else is here. It says, do you love the idea of exclusive and unique monthly curated fabric bundles and being part of a sewing club for ideas and inspiration? Do you feel big box stores lack personalization or interest over your individual requests and needs? If you answered yes, then you have found the right shop for your sewing needs. Rayne Fabrics is a modern online fabric studio based out of Sundre, Alberta, that caters to quilters and sewists of all levels. Enjoy your time in the studio. So it sounds like they have maybe a box that you can subscribe to every month or something like that. So a kind of club idea. Here they have pre-order. That's pretty. Tulip Pink Butterfly Quilt, 2.0 fabric pack. And other pre-orders here as well. 3-meter kits. The monthly subscription that they've alluded to. So that information is all there for you. Then they have a new arrival section. And new items in the studio. And they have some bundles as well. And they do mark when something is sold out, which is good to know. Shop by category and shop by designer. And yeah, actually, their opening page is fairly impressive in terms that it looks very easy to navigate and puts everything up front for you. So let's go into yardage and check that out. So all fabrics in the shop are found here. Fabrics can be cut in measurements of a fat quarter, a quarter meter, a half meter, and 1 meter. Custom cuts are also available upon request. Okay, so that's good to know. So I'm assuming, looking at the prices on these ones right now, it's $5. That's probably for a fat quarter. And actually, I know this already because I checked that out before I started making this video. So they have quite a few pages of fabrics. Let's go to the last page. Oh, some of it is a little less than $5. The tulip pink looks, or Tilda Fabrics, it's not tulip pink. Those look like they sell out pretty fast. But for the most part, it's looking, from what I've looked at, that a fat quarter is $5. So let's just check that out and see. We'll click on one of these as if we're going to buy it. Here it is. Now, this is $9.25. That's for a half meter. So 1 meter is $18.50. Okay, so $18.50 for a meter, and it is in meters, and that's good too. It's 44 inches width. Okay, doesn't tell us a lot more about it, but it has a very clear picture of it. $18.50, that's not bad. That's right in the ballpark, middle. Okay, so that's their fabrics. Let's see. Let's check kits. No, let's check pre-cuts first because I love my pre-cuts. They're having a sale on Tulip Pink pre-cuts, $75, $80. 54. A lot of things sold out on here. Valley Poppy strips. Yeah, they have 2 pages of this. Let's go to the second page and take a look. Again, a lot of things are sold out. I wonder how often they restock. Prices seem to be okay. I wouldn't say they're absolutely phenomenal, but they are, fair, I think, given the current price of fabric. Okay, what else is in their shop? Let's check kits. Quilt kits. They have 3 meter kits as well. Well, not much here to choose from. Exploding Heart and Tulip Pink's Daydreamer. Okay. So, what else do we have in the shop? Let's check their thread. They have Glide and they have Aurifil. Both are threads that I use. So let's see what the pricing is on that. They have collections. Oh. Well, it seems that they only sell collections of thread. They don't sell it by the individual spool. That's unusual. Okay, and not really interested in any of those at all. Do they sell the Glide by? Glide is what I use in my Lucy, in my long arm. Sheen, consistent coverage. Okay, it tells us about it. Now, they do sell that by the spool, $7.99 a spool. A lot of that is sold out. That's about average price too, and it doesn't look like they have a huge selection of Glide. Okay, what else is here? Let's just go down a little bit further so we can drop that down. English paper piecing, nothing well there. Patterns and books. Okay, notions and hardware. Bag making supplies, gift certificates. Let's check out the notions. Anything, okay, this is where they put their pell on. Okay, they've got elastic by the spool, things for mask making, pins, wool pressing mats, round rotary cutter. I have no idea if these prices are good or not because these are not things that I have bought or need to buy. They have the Easy Press Fabric Treatment by Acorn. Sold out of the Alicio Mini Iron. And they have 3 pages of items. I am seeing that there's an awful lot of things that are sold out, which makes me concerned about how readily they restock or if they're having trouble with their suppliers. A lot of people are right now. I realize that. Some templates. Really focused on Tula Pink throughout this web page. So if you're into Tula Pink, this might be the place to go, unless of course they're sold out. Okay, anything else in the shop that I want to look at here? Bag making supplies. Oops, what happened here? Okay, let's go back here. Bag making supplies, zipper sliders, pulls. All right, I don't like this, that this keeps dropping off my screen. Zipper sliders and zippers. Okay. So that doesn't seem like a heck of a lot in hardware. Zippers by the yard. Yeah, so really not much there to choose from in terms of bag making. Okay, they have 3-meter quilt kits. And yeah, $55. Patterns with them. Almost looks like you get 3 patterns. Interesting. That one shows like 6 different patterns. I don't know. Okay, if I click on one of those, will it show me what I'm actually getting? I find that unusual. You get that many patterns. I guess you can pick your pattern and you put it in the bundle. Okay. Yeah, that's how that works. So you get 1 pattern and you get 3 meters of fabric to go with it. There's subscription, monthly fat quarter subscription. You see 5 fat quarters. Cost of subscription is $28.99 per month. Shipping is included. Okay. The fat quarters measures 20 by 22 inches each. Okay. Something under more. Bolt ends and clearance. Let's take a look at that. Okay. Yeah, again, a lot of things are sold out here. Of course, it is a clearance section. Yeah, nothing there is grabbing me. There's 3 pages of it, though. If I went through it a little bit more, maybe there might be something. All right, I think I have covered pretty much everything that they have here. So my shipping is $150 within Canada. So let's just see what it is if you don't have $150 worth. There's shipping right there. 2 to 3 days. It probably comes by Canada Post. It's not telling me this at the moment. Oh wait, maybe down here. Yeah, via Canada Post. All small orders under $25 have a flat rate shipping and handling fee of $3.99. No tracking details. Orders between $25 and $150 will have a flat rate shipping and handling fee of $12.50 with tracking number. If orders are less than the flat rate shipping, refund will be given. All orders over $150 have free shipping. Okay, that's not bad. Shipping to the United States. For orders under $300, shipping rates are calculated at checkout. For orders over $300, we offer free shipping. Okay, and they have international shipping too. Okay, shipping doesn't seem unreasonable with it. So yeah, overall, I would say this might be worth checking out every now and then. The only thing I'm concerned about is how often do they get new stock in, because they seem to be sold out of a lot of things. But besides that, yeah, I think this is worth checking out every now and then to find, you know, especially if you're into Tula Pink or something like that. So that's Rayne Fabrics. And that takes us to the end of another episode of the Idiot Quilter. And thank you for joining me. And just as an aside, if you have not checked it out already, I have put up the interview that I did with Kate Jackson, and it's had a tremendous response. I've had many, many comments about how much people really enjoyed the interview with Kate. Kate is from The Last Homely House. I'm sure you've heard of her, and if you have not, do check out the interview. Do check out her YouTube channel because you will fall in love with Kate. Everybody does. She's a wonderful person. So do check that out. And I also have an Idiot Quilter Musings because I've run out of interviews again, although I've got a couple of feelers out for that. So hopefully I'll have something soon again. But this week's musing is why quilting is my therapy, which is a borrowed phrase from Angela Walters. But anyways, those are both up there, so do check them out. And what's coming up? Don't know. Actually, I am working on another small banner for my front door in in memory and honor of the Ukrainian people for the hell they're going through right now. So I'm doing Pat Sloan's Ukrainian star pattern. It's a freebie, and I've got it on my sewing machine right now for quilting. It's just a small thing, and I'm doing ruler foot quilting on it. So I'm going to get back to work on that at some point today after I get this all finished and compiled and up on YouTube. And I'll show that to you probably next week. So anyways, I hope you have a creative week. I hope you have a good week. And let's think about the Ukrainian people. Our prayers and thoughts are with them. And let's hope that this horrible dictator from Russia sees the errors of his ways and stops. Just stop it. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.